And don't get it twisted. Ronnie's always going to let it do what it do. Hello and good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Dating Discussions with Ronnie and Yasheka. And in this segment, we're dealing with Man Talk Mondays. In this particular episode, we're going to talk about men and accountability. And just going to share a few thoughts, not going to be long. But I believe that there's some spaces that really are in the space that they don't think men are being held accountable. And I can assure you that as a man, that is definitely not the case. Now, unless you're choosing to focus on non-productive men, and I don't care what segment of the population you're dealing with, when it comes to men are always held to be accountable. So is it as a citizen, a leader of the community, in the churches, in the workplace, businesses, men are definitely held accountable. Hell, I mean, that is something that as we grow older into the world of adulthood, that's one thing that you're always being told to be. Is accountable to your words, accountable to your actions. And we really need to unlearn this, or stop spending your time in spaces where you believe that men are not accountable. Men truly are. Now, also with that argument, there are those that believe that there is a double standard, that there are spaces that women are not being held accountable to the actions that they take. We're trying to reset the agenda and where they are in the place in the world. But, I really didn't want to talk about women per se. I really want to talk about men, because I can assure you that men are being accountable. Now, let's just talk about the space of marriage and the over 50% rate. I think the last check is like 75%, where men are the ones that, well, it's women really who lead filing for divorces. And while I don't believe there are those cases where women make a case as to why they're divorcing them, and I don't believe each and every person, when they say it is what it is, and their reason, in some way, shape, or form, it is tied to the accountability of that man not keeping his end of the bargain. And I would argue that those men have. And what tends to happen is that they're not held to the standards that the women filing for divorce is being held to. Now, again, we can go back and forth on this, because what tends to happen is many women, and I'm not going to get into whether it's most or half or whatever that amount is, where the women knew what they were signing up for. And yes, there are those men that promise more than they knew that they can deliver. But I truly believe overwhelmingly men are coming through on what they're being held accountable to. But maybe because of growth, maybe because of what they believe is unrealistic expectation as time goes on, it is perceived that not held to that accountability. They're not being held to that. So with that being said, that's a different conversation we can have at another time. But I do know that men are held accountable, and men are coming through on that accountability. So be it weight, be it providing, be it protecting, the men are out there. They really are, and they're doing the job. And I'm going to take up for men, and not, for those men that will, in more than one case, in more than one instance, they've shown that they're unproductive. We're not talking about those men. And I also don't believe that that is most of the men. You've heard me say this over and over again, that the internet has the ability to make the very few seem like the majority. And this is where a lot of critical thinking, emotional intelligence, maturity, we really have to, because, if there's one thing I will show on my platform is that men are doing it. Men are marrying, men are providing, men are protecting, men are leading. Men truly are getting on one knee. They're doing the damn thing. So I want to give a shout out to the men that are out there that are putting in the work that in many cases are not getting the credit they're due. Now, does that mean we should ask for credit for things that we're supposed to do? Well, hell, what's wrong with pounding our chests? In a world where, truth be told, and we know this to be the case, where, especially in the space of Black men, where they're not giving credit due to the things that they're doing, that is in alignment with being a man. So let me just make this clear, at least, and this is from the men that I spend time with, men that I've talked to over the years. Myself is coming into manhood or adulthood as a man, where we are being held accountable and we are following through. We are doing what is expected of us and for us and the standards we set for ourselves. So I just wanted to take this broadcast and really make it clear that I'm speaking for the men and giving a shout out to the men that are doing it. And if you find yourself in spaces, ladies and gentlemen, around unproductive men that feign accountability, then you separate yourself from that energy and really take and make an effort to go connect with men that are being held to accountability and following through. So instead of going into this whole diatribe, I just wanted to take a moment to just say, hey, brothers, I hear you. Brothers, I see you. And truth be told, gentlemen, there are many women who are giving you credit. And I know sometimes with all the noise that's going on around us, it may not appear so. But men are doing it. So, with that being said, in this very short time that I'm taking today, just to share a few thoughts on men and accountability. That men have always been held to be accountable, and that there are men getting it done. So let me also take this time to say, which I did at the beginning, and say this is your host, Ronnie Walker. I'm Ronnie Walker, your master coach of exceptional relationships, dating, and sex. In this space of dating discussions with Ronnie and Yasheka, Man Talk Mondays. Now, for some reason, this particular episode didn't upload as scheduled, and I don't know why, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to see to it that you get a chance to tune in and listen. Also, take a moment to subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube so that you can get the latest content on Man Talk Mondays. As every Monday, I provide new content to give men a space and also share my thoughts on the wonderful things that men are doing, as well as sometimes addressing things where we could get better at. So for those of you brothers out there that are doing the good thing and doing what's right, I know sometimes it's a challenge, but take a moment to reach out to the brothers who may be challenged or falling a little short. The women in increasing numbers are asking for us. And although also with the noise, they may not be able to see brothers that are out there doing it. So continue to go out there, do the right thing, and don't be ashamed. Be very unapologetic, and to make it known that what you're doing and leaving your mark and your legacy in this world. I'll be continue to provide content on the Man Talk Mondays. So don't forget again to subscribe and listen, tune in, and hit the notification bell. Also, you can reach me at RonnieandYasheka@gmail.com. That's RonnieandYasheka@gmail.com. If you have any questions or there's subjects that you feel that I need to address on behalf of the men. What I believe overwhelmingly, and I stand 10 toes down in this, that men are being held accountable. Men are coming through. Men are starting. Men are finishing. Men are dating. Men are working out. Men are taking care of themselves. Men are there for their children, their significant others. So let's make it a point to fight, to make our voices heard, and continue to have a voice in this place we call the world. So with that being said, I want to thank you again for your support and contribution to the channel. And don't hesitate to reach out, even if there's some constructive criticism that you feel, and the way in which I bring forth the content. I do it for the love of being a man. I do it for the love of the brothers that are out there fighting the good fight. And know that I'll continue to do everything in my power to make sure that our voices are heard and that our good deeds are going noticed. So I thank you all again for your support, your generosity, and I look forward to speaking to you on another Monday on Man Talk Mondays on the channel of Dating Discussions with RonnieandYasheka. So for now, I'm just going to let this music ride out, and I look forward to talking to you again another time. Have a wonderful week.